While most individuals love spending time outside every now and then, Cody Lundin has always had a strong preference for nature. Until his dismissal from the hit TV show, he decided to share his unfiltered survival story with millions of viewers on Dual Survival. He loved it so much that he couldn't stop thinking about it. The show would not have been the same without Cody, who evidently cherished his job and had put his life on the line multiple times. The audience was taken aback because they thought Cody had hosted with such enthusiasm and commitment. Fans were confused about what transpired and why he abruptly exited the stage after he left. We can get the truth about what happened to Cody Lundin if we examine his life. Cody has written 2 books about survival and preparation: 98.6 Degrees, The Art of Keeping Your Ass Alive, and When All Hell Breaks Loose, Stuff You Need to Survive When Disaster Strikes, before becoming a host on Dual Survival. Before he became famous for his part in Dual Survival, he even hosted a survival show. He made an appearance in the pilot episode and returned for all 3 subsequent seasons, thanks to his extensive knowledge and rudimentary abilities. After over 40 years of survival training, Cody was an expert. Cody is a survival expert. How did he get to that point? Fans were able to get some answers by looking into his childhood. The birthday of Cody Lundin was March 15, 1967. His family was in the military, and he was the lone heir. He spent much of his childhood on the Wyoming grasslands and mountains, adventuring in the backyard or neighboring woods. On occasion, he would go out into the Wyoming wilderness by himself, bringing only the bare necessities and fish for brook trout with fishing lines. His dedication to self-sufficiency began at this point. Cody grew up in rural South Dakota, where his grandparents farmed, and this experience gave him a unique perspective on nature. He held his grandparents' lifestyle in high regard, what they can accomplish while living in harmony with nature and on a budget. Something that Cody's family often said he inherited from his pioneer ancestors was this: Cody spent time in Europe since he was born into a military family and had to move around a lot. It should come as no surprise that Cody found solace in nature after all the upheaval of constantly changing residences. He continued to be interested in survival techniques even after he graduated early from high school. Cody lived in a commune, a friend's backyard, and the streets after finishing high school. One day, he just threw a guitar and a duffel bag into his survival kit and headed out into the wilderness. From the tranquility of the woods to the bustle of city streets and even a radical village on the verge of the Mexican border, his trip began aboard a Greyhound bus. He nearly lost his life multiple times due to his reckless actions made along the way. All of this, he insisted, was simply part of his martial arts education. An extraordinary adventure in the Arizona desert had a profound impact on Cody's life. He felt compelled to make adjustments to his life as a result of this and his profound bond with nature. He set out on a challenging path of self-improvement, which included making tough decisions and overcoming obstacles. He realized he could do better for himself and chose to share his enthusiasm for nature with others. Cody remained unchanged after getting into college. While he was a student at Prescott College, he lived in a bush shelter and studied holistic health and deep psychology. There he earned his BA in the end. In the midst of all that, Cody began to establish his business out of a desire to help others and share his survival skills with them. Cody encouraged people of all ages to learn survival skills at the Aboriginal Living Skills School in Prescott, Arizona, which he established in 1991. There he teaches people how to live like the ancients did when they were out in the wilderness, becoming urban disaster preparedness and homesteading educated. Nonetheless, Cody's horizons extended well beyond that location. In addition, he started teaching part-time at other schools in the area. Cody authored 2 books on the subject of survival because he was so brilliant at what he did: 98.6 Degrees, How to Stay Alive and What to Do When Disaster Strikes are all survival essentials. In addition, he contributed to the introduction of Steve Hart's Citizen Survivor's Handbook, a humorous anthology that draws on British military counsel and discusses the need of maintaining mental strength in the face of adversity. Cody became the 3rd person in history to have their likeness featured on the cover of Backpacker magazine in September 1999. The cover story emphasized Cody's values and survival skills. Cody was hired to host Lost in the Wild as a result of his books and the praise he received for his commitment to his work. Following that, he took over as presenter of Discovery Channel's Dual Survival. Cody was the ideal choice for the show since he is rugged, humorous, and very about survival. The show opted to have two hosts for more variation. After they secured Cody, they sought out a replacement co-host. They went with Dave Canterbury since he had become famous on YouTube for his bushcraft and wildlife movies at the time. Dave decided to join Dual Survival and earned a 2-year contract after making numerous videos and amassing a large fan base. It was great to see Cody and Dave work together in the early seasons of Dual Survival. They got along great despite their divergent viewpoints. Wilderness survival and the natural world were two areas in which Cody excelled. His charisma and sense of adventure made him a joy to observe. However, Dave also offered his military expertise and a larger audience. The relationship didn't endure as long as fans had hoped, though, because allegations surfaced shortly after Dave began his new position that he had lied about his military service. Investigating his background revealed that his military experience appeared to be inflated. For example, it was implied in the initial episodes of Dual Survival that he possessed sniper skills. He wasn't actually a sniper, but he did have some training in the art. Dave denied the claims at first, but eventually he stopped bringing them up in conversation. He claimed he wanted to focus on schoolwork when asked why he wouldn't return for Dual Survival's 3rd season. But after that, it looked like this was just an excuse. Dave Canterbury has been off Dual Survival since September 2011, as previously confirmed by Cody. This has sparked a lot of interest and conversation online. Nevertheless, I believe it is crucial to address this as questions continue. His next words were, "The first goal in the survival sector is to prevent harm to people. For this mission, honesty, trustworthiness, competence, and integrity are important. Due to the gravity of the situation, these principles must never be wavered. When people's lives are on the line, it is absolutely unethical to be dishonest about one's background." Dave was obviously the target due to his trust betrayal, and Cody felt hurt as a result. Dave said in a video he made at the start of the new season that he had lied about his military experience in order to get the job on the show. For this, he expressed regret to his admirers. "Have I inflated any of the claims I made in my resume? It was me. It was never my intention to do harm. No one in my family should think that I did it intentionally to cause trouble for them. First and foremost, I did it to help my loved ones." With that, Dave's tenure at Discovery Channel came to a close. Producers of bushcraft and outdoor-themed videos on YouTube were understandably irate, as a large portion of that group failed to comprehend the initial criteria for Dave's selection for the television contract. Everything that was to be done had to be done, and before long, Discovery Channel required a replacement for Dave Canterbury. They wanted to keep the dynamic going between Cody, the laid-back survival expert, and Joe Teddy, the strong American soldier, so they cast Teddy, who was also in the military. As a result, Cody released a statement welcoming Joe as his new co-host on the show. "For the past 23 years, I've made it my mission to fulfill the holy duty of being a survival instructor. Everyone working in this sector has an obligation to act with the utmost honesty and integrity at all times. My new Dual Survival partner and I are looking forward to bringing our A-game to the show." Unfortunately, Cody's plans fell through. It seems like Teddy and Cody got along great while filming, but soon the cameras stopped rolling. Their friendliness vanished. The network confirmed Cody's departure from Dual Survival midway through Season 4, ending his run on the show. Fans were taken aback by this, as they had anticipated the man to breeze through obstacles. When Cody personally announced his leaving on February 17, 2014, though, fans finally received the message. "Campers, I am writing to inform you that my opinions on Dual Survival health and safety issues led to my dismissal from Discovery Channel. I have decided that I will not be returning to the reality show for any future episodes." Exactly in the midst of the 4th season did this occur. Fans were already perplexed as to why their beloved host was quitting a show he adored, and Cody failed to provide any clear explanations. "He didn't want to leave," says Cody. The Discovery Channel staff actually fired him due to his numerous arguments with them. Following his dismissal from the program, Cody made an announcement on his blog. "While I shall miss some aspects of dual survival, my most significant loss will be the support of my devoted supporters. I will be profoundly saddened by the chance I had to impart life-saving knowledge to people all over the world, as well as principles of integrity, reverence for the environment, and understanding of indigenous cultures." This wasn't good enough for Cody's supporters, so they rushed to social media to express their outrage at his sudden firing. So, Discovery Channel decided to step in and address the issue. The statement provided by the network discussed the Rocky Mountain Bushcraft blog. "Our goal is to provide a wide range of perspectives on survival on air, and we decided it was time for a change. We enjoyed working with Cody and wish him well, but his anger over the comment and certain network employees has only served to exacerbate the situation." The network's justification for his exit from the show, he claimed, was inaccurate, unneeded, unacceptable, and incorrect. According to his Facebook post, he first implied in the press releases that he would be returning for the entire 4th season of Dual Survival. It is not accurate. A new executive producer at Discovery implied in later releases that I should leave the show. It is not accurate. The following updates gave the impression that I was losing it with the show and the survival obstacles. Not only are these claims unfounded, but they cast serious doubt on my expertise, integrity, and experience in the field. Cody sued the network to bring attention to the fact that they had treated him badly. He asserted that the producers of the show had doctored the tape to give the impression that he was having difficulty while filming. In addition to his previous statements, Cody further claimed that the showrunners fabricated sequences to undermine his survival skills. They gave the impression that he was going crazy. But it was in this case that Joe Teddy was exposed as the one responsible for Cody's dangerous environment. Joe allegedly threatened to bury Cody on a mountain while he swung an ice axe, according to Cody. Another incident occurred when Joe allegedly threatened Cody with a spear while they were filming in Hawaii. However, that wasn't the end of it. Additionally, Cody brought up the fact that his co-host had threatened him by displaying photographs of individuals he had assertedly murdered during his time as a CIA officer. Additionally, he mentioned that Joe would often display images of his weapons in an effort to instill even more fear in him. And yet, when pressed further, Joe rejected the charges, insisting he had never ever threatened Cody. Speaking about his feelings on the accusations, he stated, "I always respected him a lot, saw him as a friend, and I feel upset that these claims have been made." The presiding judge, Rosalind Silver, had limited knowledge on dual survival. The judge had to view all 8 sections of the Hawaii filmed episode that featured Corey's departure from the show Journey's End to a New Beginning in order to grasp the nature of the complaint once Corey brought it up. Cody and Joe got into an argument on that episode, and Cody ended up throwing things into the pool. Confusion was portrayed in the episode. "No one really knows what went down," the scene's narrator added. Joe proceeded to make a comment regarding Cody's conduct, wondering if he was suffering from confusion or dehydration. "I don't know, is he super thirsty or just had a total brain freeze?" Were his exact words. "I am unsure. It is unacceptable in one scene. A 2-day break from filming is shown. Afterwards, Cody was spotted standing in water, casting his gaze downwards and uttering the words, 'I'm looking for rubies.' After cursing at the activity in the show, he repeats, 'I'm going to look for rubies.' In another occasion, Cody bursts into laughter after Joe kills a rattlesnake in a New Mexico scenario. Cody is laughing, Joe adds in a huff. "Why are you laughing at this? I don't get it. No, this is serious. The venom of this snake is lethal." The judge watched the episode in question and found that certain aspects were true but others weren't, even though it was evident that they weren't on the best of terms. "The show often portrayed things erroneously," she said. "For example, the hosts supposedly had a hard time obtaining food and water, but in actuality they ate catered lunches and stayed at hotels and lodges. Joe was actually hunting a domestic pig tied up in the episode where he seemed to pursue a wild boar. In general, the show lied to its viewers about nearly everything, including the show's and characters' actuality." She thought the whole episode hinged on the reveal of who would be leaving the show, Cody or Joe. Because of this, the emphasis was placed on the tension between them. But Cody said the episode shamed him by painting him as a mentally ill, crazy, inept, burned-out mess who had to leave the show in disgrace. The sitting court deemed the disparities and exaggerations insufficient to support Cody's defamation allegations, despite their apparent strength. It didn't help that Cody was the subject of a reality TV program either. There was no legal issue according to the judge as well. According to Cody, he was let go from the show due to his disagreement with the network's attitude to participant safety measures. Conversely, the network maintained that they parted ways with Cody due to a shift in focus. Since Cody failed to present substantial proof in support of his assertions, the judge sided with the network. After Cody departed the network, his impact on the show diminished, even though he may have lost the case. After Cody was fired, the dual survival show continued to air controversial seasons. Joe remained a co-host, but once Cody left, the show changed hosts nearly every season due to low ratings. About 1.5 million people watched each episode of the show in seasons 3, 4, and 5. Still, the number of viewers plummeted to under 1 million every episode by the 2016 to 2017 season premiere. The fact that the animals were apparently tamed beforehand to make them simpler to capture contributed to the decline in viewership. According to several production insiders, another big problem occurred when Joe injured or killed a dog in the final episode. Joe, the former Green Beret, was reportedly in the middle of filming when a dog raced after a group of stray kittens. The man apparently stepped in when the dog bit one of the cats. While accounts differ, it appears that Joe injured the dog in his pursuit of the cat, which is something everyone can agree on. But there are reports that he may have killed the dog in the end. Although Joe has been the source of problems in the past, according to one source, it's not just him. Some have even gone so far as to say that these survival experts are really insane. As a result, Joe was fired from the show. Messaging his unwelcome presence and prohibiting him from entering Discovery Channel offices were sent to the network's facilities following the event. Therefore, the fact that viewers stopped caring about the program was predictable. The irony is that Joe had lied about his military training, much like Dave. He insisted he had finished sniper and Special Forces combat training. Retired Army Sergeant Major George Davenport was one of numerous veterans who had doubts about Joe's assertions that he was a member of a top-secret government unit, so he sought to verify Joe's claims. No proof to back up Joe's statements was found when Davenport checked with Special Forces schools. Discovery Channel ended dual survival after they appropriately let Joe go. A mere 4 episodes made it into the September-October 2015 airing schedule of the show's 6th season. They opted to cancel the performance altogether after Joe was cut. A new episode has not shown on Discovery Channel since the last 2 in 2016, therefore the show has apparently not been formally canceled. However, it is evident that the show no longer has any redeeming qualities. In contrast, Cody's skills and diligence were featured on numerous media platforms, including but not limited to The Today Show, History Channel, CBS News, USA Today, The New York Times, Good Morning America, CNN Newsroom, NPR, Fox News, and CBC Radio 1 in Canada, among others. Now that his difficult time on the program is behind him, Cody lives a quiet life. He currently resides on a solar-powered farmstead that he built. It's obvious that he enjoys a simple and serene life. People often think he doesn't use any technology at all because he lives off the grid. However, it may come as a surprise that he is active on social media platforms like Twitter and Instagram. Important institutions, like the National Park Service, the United States Forest Service, and the Federal Emergency Management Agency, frequently benefit from his expertise. At Yavapai College, Prescott College, and the Akosa Institute, he offers classes on sustainability and survival in addition to running his own school. Passionate and humorous, his teaching style attracts audiences all around the globe, including individuals, groups, schools, and organizations. An influential person in the survival community, Cody Lundin rose to prominence during his stint on Dual Survival. Even after Dual Survival itself faded into oblivion, His legacy as a survival specialist endured. Even at this late stage, the guy demonstrated to the world his unwavering commitment to subsisting solely on natural resources.